if there is somebody who could potentially help us figure out the targets to clean out, it's somebody who is the clean out expert of the deep state. You would know him very well on this program. His name is Mike Davis. And ladies and gentlemen, he joins us live right now. So, Mike, one of your favorite people, Maureen Comey, is in charge in this Southern District of New York. Somehow, inexplicably, James Comey's own spawn still works. She kind of even looks like James Comey in a wig, like works for the FBI. And she's had her fingerprints all over the Epstein case, all over the Ghislaine Maxwell case, now all over the Diddy case. Wow. Quite a coincidence there, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this President Trump has said he wants these Epstein files released. Pam Bondi is trying to do that, and she's running into deep resistance by the deep state, right? Where they're lying to the Attorney General of the United States when they have told her that the 200 pages that she got was the complete file, when there are thousands of more pages in the FBI's New York field office and in the Southern District of New York. And thankfully, Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel are not playing games, and they are they have ordered these files to get turned over to Pam Bondi's office this morning, and then Pam Bondi is going to do the unthinkable in Washington. She's actually going to do what the President of the United States and what she as the Attorney General have promised to do, which is to disclose these records to the public. She's going to redact information about the victims so they're not re-victimized, but she talked about how there are over 250 victims of this. This is appalling behavior, disgusting behavior, and there are a lot of very wealthy and powerful people who are part of this, and they need to be exposed and they need to be held accountable.
How is this possible? So we have all of these. Here's all the photos, Mike. We're just going to pop them up. You can see photos of the entire drawers filled with hard drive marked evidence. It's insane. This is what the FBI has. They're just prima facie lying to the American people. They're lying to their boss, Pam Bondi. It's marked evidence, Mike. There's a massive drawer of hard drives. Up on top, it's written insurance policy. We've never seen any of this. And they said there's only 200. There's only 200 letters. Well, what the heck? Can you explain what the hell's going on here? Because I've never seen a more never in my life have I seen a more blatant affront and a lie to the American people.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn that there are a lot of people in this world, powerful, elite people in this world who are pedophiles, who take glee off of taking advantage of kids. These monsters need to be held accountable. And Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, at President Trump's direction, his order, are going to make sure that these people are held accountable. And these people in the Southern District of New York and in the FBI's New York field office who are dragging their feet, and they don't think that they are accountable to the President of the United States or the Attorney General of the United States or the FBI Director. They need to understand that they are obstructing justice here. And if they continue to obstruct justice, they may find themselves on the receiving end of a criminal indictment.
So you're saying that there should be criminal action for the withholding of evidence. Can we put up the safe, please? This safe, Mike, had bags of diamonds. So what you're looking at is bags of diamonds, more hard drives, a manila envelope full of passports, foreign passports. Where the hell are those? And a binders of CDs right here. So again, this is direct evidence that hasn't been seen by the American people, that is being withheld from Pam Bondi by some urchin in the Southern District of New York that believes that they are the only people who can oogle all of this. What should happen to them?
Well, I'll tell you, the people who raped these kids should be strung up by their balls. And the fact that you have these federal prosecutors and federal agents in New York covering up for these guys who should be strung up by their balls is unacceptable. And I would hope that they understand that there is a new sheriff in town with Attorney General Pam Bondi, and she's not going to play games here. And they tried to fool her already by saying that they turned over all of the evidence in this case. They turned over 200 pages. There are thousands of more pages of evidence. She's going to go through this. She's going to publicly release this evidence, protecting the victim so they're not re-victimized. And then I bet you anything that the people who obstructed this investigation, who obstructed justice, will be finding other jobs, and they may end up in federal prison.
The bigger issue here, Mike, is that they must think that you, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel are dumb. They must think that you're smooth-brained morons, that you can just like pull this kind of stuff over on you, because this is kind of embarrassing, actually, this release. The release was all evidence that has already been public, and much of it has been public since 2016. It's old, in fact. And on it, it gets worse. They redacted already public information that was already available. So it was actually an insult. It was like a blatant insult to the current Trump leadership of the DOJ and the FBI. It seems like there almost has to be major consequences to this, because they're spitting in the face of Trump's Senate-approved, Senate-confirmed appointees.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that I'm smooth-brained and dumb, and that's why I'm not going into the government. But I'll tell you this, with Pam Bondi, don't let the fact that she is this beautiful woman fool you. She is a savage. She's brilliant. She was the Attorney General of the state of Florida for 8 years. She knows how to operate. She was a state prosecutor long before that for many, many, many years. So she's not legally blonde. She's a savage, and she's going to get to the bottom of this. I promise you that. And they're going to learn the hard way never to cross Attorney General Pam Bondi again.
We've done the entire show, Mike, on how Epstein was an FBI informant that was sprung from prison. And this is pretty clear. It's pretty obvious. He had handlers that have connections to the CIA. Ghislaine Maxwell, also Intel. It's pretty obvious the game that was going on here. That's not groundbreaking. And it's pretty clear that the FBI is just continuing to protect one of its more embarrassing, or maybe they're not embarrassed about it, just something that is that would be grotesque to the American public, that they allowed Jeffrey Epstein to continue abusing children in order to get information from him and use his leverage. Do you think that's what the operation was here?
Well, I mean, if you think about this, you have members of a royal family who is implicated in this. You have a former president, Bill Clinton, the biggest scumbag on the planet, getting back rubs from one of these girls in a photo. Maybe just maybe the deep state is protecting Bill Clinton and one of these British princes. I don't know. That's just my suspicion. But guess what? This is the most appalling behavior we have seen here, where you have these very wealthy, connected, powerful, elite men with their sadistic behavior, where they are raping young girls, and they need to be held accountable for that. And if that means putting Bill Clinton's scummy ass in prison for the rest of his life, good. That's great for our country. It's great for the world.
So just what's appearing here, obviously, Mike, is a splinter cell. There's obviously a fifth column that's being run out of the Southern District of New York, where guys like Mike Benz say all evidence goes to die. And this splinter cell, which has some pretty memorable names associated with it, Maureen Comey being one of them, is clearly operating outside of the constitutional barriers that are put up for it. They're clearly just spitting in the face of the Trump administration and saying, we're not going to do what you ask us to do. Is that going to fly?
It's not going to fly. I mean, with the Southern District of New York just learned the hard way that they're not the sovereign District of New York like they think they are. Federal prosecutors, including in the Southern District of New York, reports to the Deputy Attorney General, who reports to the Attorney General, who reports to the President of the United States, who reports to American voters. And Emil Bove is the acting deputy attorney general, and he just gave the Southern District of New York, including Danielle Sassoon, a very important civics lesson when Emil Bove chased their asses out of the Southern District of New York. And they can go cry and go be superheroes and get paid by these big law firms. That is not going to deter President Trump and Pam Bondi, and soon Todd Blanche, who will be the deputy attorney general after he's confirmed, and his deputy, Emil Bove. They are very serious. President Trump said he's going to get to the bottom of this Epstein tragedy, this criminal enterprise that they ran, that Epstein and his associates ran against children, right? Where they had the most powerful, most connected men on the planet raping girls, and they're going to get to the bottom of this. And if that means that princes and former presidents get implicated in this and go down, so be it. They're monsters anyway, and they should.
Finally, Mike, final question, Mike. What you said, obstruction of justice. So it's obstruction of justice. What other charges could be added to this if they are found to be withholding evidence, which obviously there are? There's photos of the evidence. What's the charges that could be lined up?
Well, there's obstruction of justice. There's conspiracy. I mean, there's a whole litany of charges that you can come up with if you are illegally disobeying the Attorney General of the United States on her investigation of this. You're going to have big problems. You're going to have big job problems. You're going to have big problems with your bar as an attorney, and you're going to have big problems with the criminal justice system. Good.
I mean, P9. We're waiting on the arrests, Mike. We're waiting. On them. We look forward to covering them live. Mike Davis, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody that you, of course, need to go on over and follow. 400,000, we're just going to round up here, 400,000 Americans. Can't be wrong. Follow our fiery ginger friend and make your weekends bright. Good way to start your weekend. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Ben.